Hello, class. Craig here. So, one of my favorite videos to make is when we decide who wins the extra credit points for the best title. Now, we could call that extra credit points, or we could call it the points. Why do I call it panache points? It's a French word that means style, right? Uh, Pizzazz, gusto, verve, right? So I could call it the style point, but by choosing a word that starts with P, because because point starts with P, right? Alliteration, the conspicuous repetition of identical initial consonant sounds, the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. So whenever your words start with the same letters or sounds, it can even be words, groups of words that are spelled differently, right? But when those first letters sound the same, a lot of times certain spellings of letters might take on a different sound. So alliteration is the repetition of the same letter or sound at the beginning of words. Therefore, I call it the panache points when you get those extra credit points. Maybe I'll do pizzazz points next time. But style points or verve points wouldn't have that same alliteration. And the alliteration helps your reader recognize the emphasis, just like for Kate Chopin's Story of an Hour title, the story of an hour, right? As I kind of talked about, it's not just a random hour. Her title is understatement. Understatement is when you say less of what you mean. It's just an hour. No, it was like the most important hour of her life. Now, if that was the title, then it would be considered hyperbole. So when you exaggerate, it's called hyperbole. And when you do the opposite, it's understatement. Oh my gosh, this is the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, if you actually mean that, then it's literal. But if you're using hyperbole, you're the worst ever, right? You know, people say that all the time. So Chopin's title is understatement, right? And alliteration is something that I think that almost everybody could somehow try and incorporate into their titles by merely just trying to find synonyms for words. And that repetition of those beginning sounds has a nice flow for emphasis. Okay, first one. Death of joy or joy of death. Chiasmus. When you switch words or phrases around, right? What is fair is foul, and foul is fair. Nice title. Nice title, John. Death of joy or joy of death. The chop block. Ooh, nice. I like the allusion when you're referencing a word or an idea to bring in, right? Call it to mind, an indirect, an expression designed to call something to mind, right? As an artistic device, as a figure of speech in which an object, circumstance from an unrelated context is referred to covertly or indirectly. It is left to the audience. Sorry, street sweeper's kind of loud. It is left to the audience to make the direct connection. Okay, so the chop block, right? Like an illegal block in football. Mrs. Mallard Louise's death, question mark, why she died and what's causing. Okay, interesting. Again, referencing the title. So a direct mention is a reference, right? A reference to the title when the connection is directly and explicitly stated, and an allusion is when it's when you don't mention it. You don't mention, it doesn't say Mrs. Mallard her death was a chop block, right? So it's an allusion, whereas this one is more a direct reference. The joy that lives. Ooh, I like it. Right? Nice, nice in some way personification. Personification is when you give, right, human attributes. So joy is living, right? The personal nature, human characteristics of something non-human. So I like it how that joy lives on. Nice personification. 1 hour of freedom. Nice. Nice reference to the title, The Story of an Hour. Louise Mallard's ironic death. Good job putting irony in there, because irony, as we know, means the opposite. So nice title as well. These are all great. Keep up the good work. The story of Louise Mallard's ironic death. Something like that. Malformation of the heart. Ooh, nice, Tommy. Malformation. Interesting. And remember, we have the symbolism of the heart, and the heart is directly referenced in the beginning of the story. So nice job. Circumstantial joy. Nice use of the adjective, Daniel, right? When you say what kind of noun, that's an adjective. So what kind of joy? Circumstantial joy. One of the easiest ways, people, to increase your vocabulary and to write more developed sentences and to describe things is to add adjectives, right? Words that describe what kind of a noun, and adverbs, words that explain how. Right? So whenever something answers the question, what kind, it's an adjective. Whenever it answers the question, how something is done, it's an adverb. Keep those ideas in mind, and you'll start to realize as you're reading Shakespeare with attention to adjectives and adverbs, that's part of the reason why his writing is so descriptive, because of his use of adjectives and adverbs. All right, moving on. Nice job. Circumstantial joy. Drop Dead Gorgeous. An essay on feminism, ethics, and life and death in the 1800s. Sophia, nicely done. I like it. And great use of the colon to set up the subtitle. Because as our colon handout tells us, we could put a colon between a subtitle for that emphasis on the second part, right? Separating the two, that dichotomy of the title. Great job, Sophia. A woman dying twice. Ooh, right? Interesting. Interesting idea. Normally you wouldn't think you could die twice, right? But I like it. The idea of killing her past self, her transformation. I really like the explanations of the titles too. So those of you that are not only presenting your title, but explaining how and why, I think it's very helpful to fellow students, so they can also understand how they can hopefully create catchy and meaningful titles. Okay. Ooh, we've got 2 votes. We've got the front runner, right? 3 votes. The final hour of shock and heartbreak. I like it. I like it. Yeah, because she is shocked. Yeah, bring up an interesting point. Good point, Josh. Right? Nice idea of cluing into your purpose, Jessica. The idea that it's shock. Irony that kills. Ooh, I like that, Richie. It's the little things in life that matter. Nice alliterations. T, right? L, right? And the adversity one will face. Good job, Morgan. Story of an hour analysis. Okay, straightforward. Fair enough, Matthew. Right? I titled my essay, I wasn't creative. Okay, yeah, of joy that kills. I think that would work better, because remember, the story of an hour is Chopin's title. So you could do the story of an hour, colon, the joy that kills, or something like that. But try to avoid just titling your essay their title, the title of the fictional work. But I like the of joy that kills. Good job, Mila. But I should have the self-awakening of Mrs. Mallard. Good job, Noemi, as well. A woman's shattered liberation. Ooh, nice, Hunter. Yeah. Price to pay for the pursuit of freedom. Ooh, nice alliteration there. Good job. Now, I want to say, first off, I get a vote too. And my vote is going to be for Death of Joy or Joy of Death. Great job, John. I love your use of chiasmus, right? Just like the witches in Macbeth, with fair is foul and foul is fair. However, the winner is, let me scroll down here, A Woman Dying Twice. Great job. Enjoy your 5 extra points on your quiz average, right? And you'll notice some of you, if you ever want to incorporate acronyms, if I ever refer to you on the video by the first letters of your names, right? I like it when someone's names both start with the same letter, right? DD, right? That alliteration there. So again, if you want to, just like LOL, laugh out loud. A lot of times I may refer to you by the first initial of the initial of your first name and your last name. So DD, great job on the title, A Woman Dying Twice. Enjoy that 5 points when you're hanging out getting a meal with your friends or something like that today or tomorrow, I want you to let everybody know, your family, your friends, say, hey, guess what? I won the panache points today for my essay title. And they may say, what's panache? And you could say, is flamboyant, style, verve, or pizzazz. Great job. Stay tuned for the essay 2 title discussion. And I hope this is helpful so that you can continue using figures of speech in your writings and your titles for emphasis.